Hey there, Soul Shines. It's Michelle here, and I know it's been a little bit since I did a creative expressions video. But I'm here. I will talk a little bit about what's been going on in life. In a creative expressions video, you will find chapter links. You will find links down below for patterns and things. There's always a link for this. Nobody's told me if they actually want me to include Millie in that link pattern as a consistent upload. So if you want the pattern for Millie, let me know. She's a temperature snake who is hanging out in the jungle of my house here. And so there's going to be chapter links. Pattern links for anything I mention. If there's a pattern, we talk about works in progress, finished objects, life updates, whatever we need to. If that was the dog. So before we get started, I would like to invite you to hook that subscribe button, like the video if you like my content, and be sure to leave a comment, aka yarn, in the comments. I love to hear what's going on in your life. Leave me a little yarn. You know, I love that Shannon of Another Yarn, her channel is Another Yarn, and I love that, like, it could be very literal, like another yarn. We all love yarn, right? So she's like another yarn, but also yarn is like a story, and she's a great storyteller, so it's really fun, like the double meaning there. I like that. So anyway, so leave some yarn in a comment, like, tell me a story, guys. I would love it. Okay, so now that we got all the intro stuff going down, told to you, where have I been? Nowhere. Okay, so what happened is things got super chaotic I record in my bedroom. Things got very chaotic in my bedroom, and I would think about doing a video, and I'm like, I just don't have the capacity to move things around, set everything up. It's like, no matter what, I have to set things up. I don't have room to leave the camera, the lights, the little desk thing. I don't have room to leave it all up. So no matter what, I have to set up things every time. But with my room being chaotic, it also meant that I would have to move things, and it was just like extra. So it was like extra work. So that was part of it. Last week, I just said, I can't do this anymore. I don't care how many dirty dishes there are. I have to resolve the problem in my room because I want to be making videos again. So I did that. I did make the video for things we're making Thursday, and don't usually record on a Sunday, but I am recording on a Sunday today because with the holiday and just everything, it's been a very busy week, but I wanted to get up here and get this done. It is my daughter's birthday, but she is with her dad until this evening, so I thought, let's just try and take care of this, get it done, and I will feel better about everything. So that's where that is. So that was like a mini life update, telling you about that. So let's talk about what's been happening as far as my creative projects go. I'm going to deviate from yarn for a minute and talk about fabric. So we have had some pretty financial tight streets lately, and the lack of ability to just buy paper towels. It's like, they're not expensive, but I'm like, I just can't afford it. So I had a whole bunch of squares of this fabric cut out, and I have got two little napkins. I think I have bigger ones somewhere, but I just have two little napkins made. Apparently I turned the edges further on one of them than the other. I have a whole bunch so I'm doing these by hand, and I don't mean like sewing them by hand like we think of naturally, but I mean like actually hand sewing. My machine stresses me out. These glasses just don't help me see well enough to do the sewing, and on the machine it's just like everything's extra awkward. And the machine sometimes works, sometimes don't, and I don't have the money right now to get it serviced, so I decided to hand sew them. So what I do is I fold in the edge, and I'm just doing like a base, and it's like literally like 4.5 inch things just to hold it folded. And then there was a tutorial, if I can find the right tutorial for how to do the mitered corners that I followed, I will put that down below. So I did the little bit for each corner, and then I top stitched to this and then cut out the showing basting stitch so that it doesn't show, so that you just are left with the top stitch napkin, which I believe I just used a running stitch around them. So I used apparently I missed all my things. You can see here, I was like, why do I have such sloppy stitchings? I hope you can see here. I have some white yarn thread here that I apparently didn't pull out on this one. The thread that is the top stitching thread is actually the same color as the fabric, but I missed some of my thread here. That's just the little wide basting stitch. Because it's like, wait, that's really sloppy. Why did I do so sloppy? It's because for the initial basting stitch, I don't need to be straight. I don't need to be unsloppy. But with the final stitching, I do need to be as neat as I can be. So I'm in the process of making those. I have a whole bunch that have been basted, and I need to go in and do the corner bit on all of them and work on that. But I haven't been working on those, and I did come up with some money to buy some paper towels, but I still want to finish making these so that we can use these more than the paper towels, and only use paper towels when we need to, because these can be rewashed. It's much more sustainable, and I like that idea. The thing, let's move into finished objects. Now, I don't have it to show you. I did wrap it up. It is almost ready to ship off. My granddaughter's birthday is this next week, and I finally finished the octopus. So I'll put the pictures here, and if you want to watch the video, I will link it below and up here. The video from Things We're Making Thursday this last week, where I show you the octopus and all of its little babies, and I'm so happy to have that done. So that was a crochet finished object. Finally finished that. Another finished object. I did kind of show this on Things We're Making Thursday as well. It is a hat. It is one of my tithing projects, which I get to start a new one today. The dog just moved against the door. Anyway, I finished this one a couple weeks ago. Did not start one last Sunday, but I do want to try to, if I get time with having to do this as well, I will start another tithing hat. In the fall, as the weather turns cooler and stuff, I will give these to my friend who she takes food to the homeless like every week, and make sure that they've got, she like boils eggs and gives each one of them like 4 boiled eggs, so they have at least something over the next few days. Kind of tries to do as much as she can for them, and so I will make a few more hats and at least have some hats to give there. So that is one of the things. I think that's it for finished things right now. It's hard to get everything done, but I do feel so much better about getting the octopus done. It was one of those areas where he's just kind of stuck on it. It's like, I need to get this done. So now I can move on I have a project that's been commissioned that I need to finish. Actually, I have 2 commissioned projects I need to finish, and those will be my next like major focus, if necessary, force myself to do them kind of things, so that I can get those done, because oh my gosh, when it is for a specific date, it just puts so much pressure. So I have those. Before we move into the works in progress, let's show you what I have here. This, I have not sewn in ends for a long time, like for 2 or 3 months. It looks like 2 months worth of ends, but it is a new month. It is now July, so let me show you my socks. Okay, I got my socks going here. As you can see, we had a lot of yellow through May and June. Well, no, May and July. June was mostly this orangish color. It's like a burnt orange, but I don't know if you can tell that this one right here is darker. We had 100 degrees that week. This last week our high was 95, so I'll be going back down to the orange color for today's stripe. But both of them are here. I need to start paying attention now because I'm pretty close. This is just like tossing around. Pretty close to the where I need to put the heel in. And I knew it would be somewhere about halfway through the year. So this is literally halfway through the year. Probably maybe another month's worth of weeks and I will be doing the heel. That's just a guess. I don't know. Anyway, if you don't know, this project here, I did the toes, and then I have taken the high for every single week and put the high for the week in a stripe. And then I do the white. I just have continued the white up through, and so I have the white every other day or every other stripe. So I picked the high of the week. If I would have wanted to, I could have done the high and the low for a week and not done the white stripe. That would have been interesting. If I was willing to do shaping, I could have done temperature socks for the whole year. I could have started here, and after it got past the heel and up, you start having to do some shaping to account for the legs. If you actually know how many stitches you do between your heel and your toes, you could actually start at the top of the sock and work your way back and not do a toe up sock, because you would just have to know how far down to go before you started the foot. But I didn't know, and I prefer toe up socks anyway, but I didn't know actually how many strips I would need between my toe and my heel. And so it's better for me to start at the toe and work my way up. I'm not thrilled with the way my sides look on here. I haven't really figured out great ways for doing stripes, because I'm changing every other, and I didn't want to do helical. Helical may have been a good idea, but I don't fully understand it and how it works in a sock, so I'm like, they're just for me. It doesn't matter. I just wear these kind of socks to keep my feet warm in the winter. May or may not ever leave the house in them, so it doesn't matter. But I do have both of them up to through last Sunday, and like I said, today's stripe will be orange. So I'm excited about that. Excited to have another month done. They're like halfway. Well, plus the heels. Halfway plus the heels and cuffs. I guess you could say halfway's with the cuffs because of the toe, kind of. I don't know. Anyway, so that's exciting, and that's the update for the socks. Sock update, yay! Oh, what else do we have going on? Let's talk about works in project. I started this. have a crochet. Don't want to lose my crochet hook. I'd crocheted myself a steering wheel cover, and with the same kind of yarn. This is, do I have the? It's just this fuzzy yarn, and I got them from the Dollar Tree. I don't remember what they're called, but anyway, I had made one in the same color, and then our van stopped working last summer, and I gave it away to somebody who needed a thing. And so I have just, since we got a vehicle, and the vehicle's just got the grossest feeling, I've been getting Dollar Tree steering wheel covers. The problem with those is that it doesn't take very long, and I think part of it's the heat, because I had my first one for a lot of months, and it was fine, and it just kept lasting, and it was great. And then one day I went out, and like one of the elastics had just popped and it broke. And I was like, well, this is annoying. So I went and got another one, but the other one's only lasted a month or two. So I think it's the heat, because we've had some hotter temperatures lately. So I'm making this. This shouldn't have the problem with snapping, because the Dollar Tree ones, like when they're closed, they're like so like this. And you really have to stretch to get them around. But this one I measured, and this fits very well around it. And then the elastic is not going to be quite as tight as it was. But I knitted this. I did a stockinette knit just back and forth this way, so the knit stripe goes this way. You could do it long ways. You could crochet this. I have a tutorial somewhere where I talk all about all the measurements and all the things. And I'm currently doing a single crochet border around the edges, and I'm just single crocheting right over the elastic, so the elastic is just going in while I go. So you can, if I can get it, so if you can see, the elastic's not much smaller than the whole thing, and so that means it will have just enough stretch to hold it on, but not too much. I can tell this yarn was really crazy to do my seam. I don't like the fact that I can see a seam, because with I did a provisional cast on, and with the Kitchener stitch you shouldn't be able to see a seam, but because of the way the yarn was, I couldn't even tell what I was doing. I got towards the end of my thing, I kind of have less of a seam because I kind of figured out some things, and I'm just like, oh well, I'll just put that on the bottom of the steering wheel and put the rest on the top so that it's not as obvious. It's just a steering wheel cover. It's okay. So I'm working on this. Should have this done this week. I'm excited for that, to have a nicer steering wheel cover on my car. So that's one of my in-progress projects. I will be starting a navy blue hat today. The other thing that I have actually consistently been working on, but it's so hard to tell now. It's, don't come out. Don't come out. I don't want to drop any stitches. My vortex shawl. This is a free pattern. Of course, all patterns, if possible, are linked below. I'll link my tutorial for that below. It's just pretty much kind of more of a formula type idea. Rambly, talking, telling you ideas to do. Make a rectangle, sew it together, make elastic, that kind of thing. Crochet, knit, either way, you can figure it out yourself. I believe in you. Anyway, vortex shawl, it's got the fun little spirally stuff. This was yarn that Shannon from Another Yarn gave me. I do have the label thing somewhere in here, I thought. Do I? Oh no. Yeah, here we go. It's Premier Yarns Wool Free Lace then we go into other languages. Dental Sans Lane. Oh, hey, that makes sense. Laine, Laine, that actually means wool in French, and sans means without. So sans Sonlane. I'm not sure. Oh, the dental. It would be dental. I don't know. My French pronunciation's like definitely wonky. But that would be lace, but wool free. And then I'm guessing this is Spanish. Encalle sin lana, probably. I don't know. I'm guessing that's Spanish. I know that the center one is French. And I do know that sans means without and lane means wool. So it's without wool. Anyway, it's 88% acrylic, 7% PBT, whatever that is, and 5% metallic. The metallic there is definitely a gorgeous sparkle in this. Let's see if I hold the center and kind of go out to the end. That's the radius so far. So definitely have a ways to go. Still, this is all messy now. I need to wind it up, but I still have quite a bit left of the first skein. I have 2 skeins, so we'll just see how far it goes. I'm just really excited about it. It's really fun. It's really easy. It's an easy take with me. I don't get it done as much as I would like, but like I said, I've been focused on other things, trying to get all of the other projects. So let's see what projects I am avoiding. I'm going to come over to my little dashboard. I have a Notions dashboard where I keep track of things. I had a bag I started for things we're making Thursday that I have not made any progress on. I have a cardigan I made for started for my grandson. It's like this big and I made no more progress on it. That's probably my next plan after I get done. My next major focus after I get the commission stuff done. Because I do want to get both of my current kids a cardigan made for Christmas. That's my main present. And if nobody else gets Christmas presents made by me, I'm okay with that. As long as I get the cardigans done for both of them. That's my main goal. I have my alpaca hoodie scarf. So I took alpaca yarn and I've just kind of made it so that it's a scarf that I can put over my head. I have not worked on that for a long time. I have not been making anything for random acts of kindness. I need to. I want to make some dishcloths. I have not worked on those. Other things I have not been working on. I need to make a seahorse. I need to make a cow cozy. Those are both commission projects. I need to start making random act of kindness projects again. And I've done zip with my skirt. I don't know. And then I have like gorgeous yarn that I'm just like, I really want to use that yarn. But then I'm like, oh, I have so much going on, so many presents. You know what? You know what would suck? I just realized I never checked to make sure that my microphone is picking up. I think it is. It looks like it's, that would just really suck to have recorded all of this and have my audio not pick up. That has happened before. I think I would cry today if that happened. So yeah, I'm working on napkins. I've got a whole bunch of yarn projects and I'm starting to kind of get back doing some stuff again. We've done some interesting things in the family. We do like healing work, energy work. I don't like calling it work, so I just came up with realizing what I actually do is transmute things, and so I call myself an alchemist now. An energy alchemist, a spiritual alchemist, I could call myself a love alchemist. My daughters and I have been doing a lot with that, and it's been really interesting to see how our health has been improving the last little while, but it's also taken a lot of our time as we've taken some real intentional time and focus for these things. And I finally started working on my yard again, which I didn't even do anything in my yard. I barely made sure that the yard stayed somewhat green last year. This year, we've been really good about mowing. We took out a whole bunch of prickly weeds in the backyard. I'm excited for the kids to come home so we can get more of the weeding done in the backyard. And I'm hoping to plant some grass, like, hopefully by the end of this week, so that we can just get it ready so that come like August, we can actually enjoy the backyard. Hopefully. That's the plan. But it's so good to actually feel up to doing things because, like, it's been a hard few years. Yesterday I went on Facebook and saw that one of my Facebook friends, her mom had just passed away a few weeks ago or a couple months ago, and her friend just barely lost her mom this week. And then another person said her dad died, and another person said his dad was missing, and it just like stirred up all the grief about missing my mom. But I tell you, it gets better if you haven't lost somebody important to you. It feels so devastating in the beginning. You're in shock and numb and overwhelmed with the feelings. You get upset at yourself if you are happy because there's a part of you is like, I can't be happy. You get upset at yourself for being angry because sometimes you are angry. Sometimes you're angry at the person. Sometimes you're angry at God. Sometimes you're angry at yourself. Like, there's just so many feelings. Oh, and here's one. There's also a sense of relief sometimes. And then I got very mad at myself for feeling relieved when my mom passed away. But the reality is, as all of those feels come, and it's not something you can prepare for. And it's not something enough people are talking about. Because everybody knows that you feel really sad, but nobody talks about how sometimes you're angry and sometimes you're relieved and sometimes you get mad at yourself for being happy. People aren't talking about that, and I'm like, we need to talk about that so it's normalized, that we realize it's okay to go through all of the feelings, and that sometimes those feelings are going to be positive and sometimes those feelings are going to be negative, and sometimes we're going to get mad at ourselves for feeling those feelings and all the things, and you never know. And then once you're past like the first year and a half, you start to kind of function again and start to feel alive yourself, because you do feel like you're just numb, or it's just so much, because you have the first few months where you're just kind of numb and in shock. And then the next year, you're just going through all the firsts, because I do not believe that the first 3 months count as firsts, because you're not even like enough of yourself to say you are for the first 3 months. So you go through that first year plus those first 3 months again, and then you can finally feel like you've been through all your firsts, and you finally feel like you can breathe again. You finally feel like you're starting to function again. You're finally feeling like you're having more good days than bad days. And I've talked to many people about this. Once upon a time, we used to wear black for the first year or the first 6 months. They would wear armbands or things. And there was something to symbolize this person has been through a grief of somebody very close to them, their family or whatever. And it used to be illegal for you to do any major life changes during that first, however, whether it was 6 months or a year, depending on the country or the time period. It used to be illegal. So like, even if you were engaged, if somebody died, you had to wait until that period was over before you could get married. And sometimes I have to say, I wish we would go back to that. There is a deep recognition of how hard it is when we go through grief, and how there are things that I wish I would have done differently now that I have more capacity to think. I wish that we did have a way to recognize people are still dealing with it, because I lost friends during that first year because I was a mess and I had nobody to talk to, and they got so sick of me being a mess, they're like, we just can't be your friend anymore. And I was like, wow, okay, I need people so bad, and you just did this. And one of them, her dad died a few months after mine, so for her, she really couldn't, because she was doing her own processing, and I understood that, and we actually are friends again. But the one, I was like, no, you that hurt really bad, and yeah. But if we had those things where we could have a constant reminder that this person is still dealing with their crap, or if we had somewhere we could just say, yeah, I look happy, but guess what? I'm dealing with depression. Sometimes I wish we could do that. But then again, when I'm dealing with depression, I don't think I want to announce it to the world either. I want people to care about me because they care about me, not because they're like, oh, you poor baby, you're depressed. And yet, the reality is most of us are dealing with it to some degree or another. After the first year and a half of grief, where it feels like every time you turn around, you're crying, you start to function again. But it still hits you out of freaking nowhere. And I've talked to people who've lost people decades ago, and they still get hit out of nowhere. But what I've noticed for myself, and this may not be the same for everybody, is that the more I heal, the more I feel, the more I let go of just all of those other feelings like anger and stuff, the less it hurts when those moments hit. And yeah, there's a sadness and there's a missing. And I've had a few of those lately where I just really kind of miss my mom. But it's not as bad anymore. And I like that. I like that life does eventually go on. Anyway, I'm feeling for those people who are just right smack dab in the middle of it. Because it's really hard. Really, really hard. Even with somebody who has so many healing... Really, dog? So many healing tools. I know how to process emotions. I know how to acknowledge the deepest parts of the feelings. I know how when a person's angry right now, it's not just this moment they're angry at, but 95% of what they're feeling is actually all the stuff from the past. Like that time when they were 2 and they had this thing where mom said no when they really wanted something. And that no is just still, that anger is still just locked in there. And then all the things got layered on top of it to where finally they're in this moment and that 2-year-old gets triggered. And so they're really angry in this moment, but really it's their 2-year-old that's showing up with this unresolved anger. I'm aware of this, and so I can go back and I can heal the 2-year-old and let go of all the stuff along the way so that the next time something similar happens, I don't respond to it that way. And it's great. Even with all those tools, going through grief just brings a whole nother spiel, layers upon layers of things and so many feelings. And it's just so many all at once that it takes time to process. So that, I guess, is my message for the day, guys. Be gentle with yourself. And remember, I'm talking about like loss here of people we love, but there's other kinds of grief too. You could be grieving a loss of a job. I had to grieve the loss of my van. I still do. Every time my current van has problems, I go through bouts of anger because of the loss of the van that was my mom's. There's just a lot of feels there I haven't resolved yet. I didn't realize until yesterday how much a person that I had dated a little bit really truly broke my heart. I knew I was upset about it. I knew I was sad about it, but I didn't really realize that he actually had caused it hurt so much. Because I didn't acknowledge that it hurt as much as it did. But I stopped dating because it hurt so much. And I didn't realize that until yesterday. I was like, oh, that's why I stopped dating. It's because that really hurt. And that's a kind of grief. when we move, even when we're choosing to move somewhere for a good reason, there's still some grief. There's memories from that house that you lived in. There's leaving friends behind. Just, it doesn't even matter. It could be little things and big things. It's just be gentle with yourself and recognize you are going to have feelings, and some of your feelings are going to surprise you. You're not going to realize, you're like, wow, I did not expect to feel that, and it's okay. It's okay. Anyway, I hope that you guys are doing amazing things with yarn or any kind of creations. I don't care what you're creating. Like I said, I'm sewing right now. I'm enjoying sewing by hand. I actually really enjoy sewing by hand. I love knitting. I love crocheting. And I also enjoyed for a while, I did quilling for a while. I don't know that I'll ever do that one again. I was doing that when I broke my knee and my mom died. So it's kind of part of that. And so I don't know that I'll do quilling again, but it was fun. And if you don't know what quilling is, it's when you take little strips of paper and you like roll them up into little tiny things. You can like shape them a little bit and glue them down so that they make like shapes and pictures that are like three-dimensional. It's really fun. Look up some quilling videos because it's really cool to see how little pieces of paper create beautiful art. Sometimes I enjoy drawing. Sometimes, like, I just love being creative. And I know that I just watched Lori the Armchair Chefs. I just watched a video that she did, and she talked about how she loves creating the videos, like where she gathers all the things to show you, hey, this is what people have made this month, and she kind of puts the songs together and she does all the things, and she enjoys making those. And I agree. I'm excited about this because I get to go edit, and once I learned how to put the green screen things in like this, it was really fun, and I just loved it. And it's fun to do that. I'm not as creative as in my editing as some people, but it's a lot of fun. It's another place to put my creativity into. So whatever you're doing, I would just like to invite you to let your light shine through your creations. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!